Alright, cool. So this is another haircut tutorial that we did in one of our classes. I believe it was one of our hands-on classes. So if you see hands come in and different hands and stuff, it's because we turned this into a tutorial. So obviously we're starting off with our T outliners. These are custom trimmers, but they don't cut any different. It's all cosmetics. It just looks different. So now I'm using my number 2. I'm setting my foundation. So now that I set my foundation, I'll start to blend down. And you'll be able to follow along with the color code on the bottom left corner. From the number 2, we followed it up with a number 1 open. Trying to skip the 1.5 guard. Now we have the number 1 guard closed, and we're following up right underneath. And we're going to try to skip the half guard and go straight to the blade open. You can see it's blending in fairly well. Now we close it about halfway, about a quarter of the way, and then closed, and we are blended. It's not a perfect fade, but it's a fade done skipping the half guard and the 1.5 guard. Obviously we'll go back and do some detail work, but you can see it, you can get a pretty decent product, or a pretty decent finish skipping the 1.5 and the half guard. And if I would have went in and detailed it some more just using corners and stuff, it would have really came out really nice. But it's also all in the way that you use your clippers, right? If you're putting too much pressure, if you're going in with your teeth first, you're not going to be able to skip guards that way. And we'll do it all the way around. And the only reason why, guys, everyone asks me, how do you fade? Do you usually fade like this in profiles? Do you usually fade all the way around? It all depends, man. Like, as a barber, when you've been doing it for a long time, you switch it up almost every haircut. Unconsciously, you don't even think about it. So, there's no set way of how I cut hair. In the beginning, I was very systematic, and the way that I teach is very systematic, because it's the only way to get, for you guys to understand. But when I'm in the shop, man, it's kind of chaotic. And I'm sure if you've been cutting hair for a while, like you could definitely relate, right? So here I'm just showing, his hairline versus the fringe or the hairs that are overlapping his hairline, and how we can use that to our advantage to create a sharp lineup while keeping his forehead smaller, right? So like, we don't want to push him all the way to his hairline, because it's a little further back, right? Or where the follicles start, because it's a little further back, when we can allow the hair growing forward to become a hairline, if that makes sense. So we're just taking our time right now. And it's not that he's receding or balding or anything like that. I didn't mean anything like that. It's just like we can make it a more square shape, for example, by taking advantage of fringe. Hope I didn't confuse you guys. And I believe we did this haircut in Chicago. We got like 15 videos in the chamber. So at this point, I'm just detailing the fade, using a lot of corners, especially like in the darker areas and in the indent areas, for example, where his head the shape is a little different, right? A lot of times it'll be a little bit more dense in there or a little lighter. So you gotta go in and detail that stuff. And we're making sure that the back fits the sides. Like, we're making sure that it looks like the same haircut. So a lot of times I spend more time detailing back here than I do on the sides. Like, and it's just because of head shape, right? It's where the occipital bone is. The parietal ridge is lower. A lot of indents are usually in the back. It's more dense. Like, it's just a more troublesome area, a more challenging area, regardless of the person, I feel like. So I feel like all the, like, in the beginning, most of the haircuts I'm doing in these tutorials, they're not perfect by any means. A lot of it is teaching. A lot of times we bring people up and they cut on the same canvas. A lot of times the lighting is different, but it was something I've learned through experience, and you'll see as the tutorials come in, the quality of the haircuts will improve because I'm getting used to it. It's, you know, sometimes when you get put out of your environment, you know, things are a little different, right? You get comfortable in your shop, in your station. And I think that's one of the challenges when you do barber battles, for example. It's just different. It's a different environment, you know. So you'll know what I'm talking about once you start competing. If any of you guys decide to start competing in barber battles and stuff. So here we're cleaning it up with the 1.5 guard. Too, guys, when you cut somebody new, most of the time, the first time they see in your chair, you're learning a lot about them. The second time around, it'll probably be, you know, faster for you to cut their hair, and the third time around, it'll definitely be faster because you've learned that person's head. You know, a lot of cutting hair, especially the first time you cut somebody's hair, is problem solving, is trial and error. And with information, with experience, you'll start to be able to see things before they become a challenge, and that'll come over time with repetition. All right, so we're gonna finish it up with the balder. With the shaver, the Andes Profile shaver. And the only reason why I'm flipping it around and using my corners is because I have more of a tight space to play with between the initial guideline and the bald area. So, you know, obviously flipping it around takes less space. So. Alright, now we'll begin to start to line the beard. Brushing down any flyaway hairs. Make sure I catch them with the trimmer. Alright, so now we're using the 245 shave gel. That's just, you know, to add some slide to the blade, make it more comfortable for the client. Yo, funny story though, man. I've been trying to meet the model here in this video for a while now. His aunt actually owns the salon that my wife works at here in Tampa, and he had moved to Chicago, and we really never got to chop it up. So it was cool that he came out and he modeled, and I finally got to chop it up with him, man. Alright, so he likes his beard finished to a point, as seen here. And I try not to go in too deep where the curvature of the beard is, so it's maintainable. So when it grows back, there isn't a lot of stubble growing back, as you can
see. So I just got back from the Rochester Chris Basio hands-on and look and learn course, and the experience is something I'll never forget. I learned so much in such a short amount of time, and he did not waste any second. Literally, he made sure everybody was on point the entire time and knew what he was talking about, and if somebody was confused, he would break it down even more. The look and learn course was great because he actually used me as a model and got to cut my hair. As you can see, it's literally the blurriest fade I've ever had. And he was just a down-to-earth guy, man, and like you could really talk to him about anything, not just in hair cutting, but in life in general. And I think anybody who's even questioning on whether they should cut hair or not should go to this course. I learned so much, and I don't even have that much experience, but now, because of him, I feel really comfortable behind a chair. So I got to thank him and, you know, his buddy Dre and the Tomb 45 squad just for putting that together, so...